Greetings, brave souls of Azeroth. Steel your spirits as we set off on an expedition through the depths of Orgrimmar. Here, in the heart of the Horde's might, the lava-filled Ragefire Chasm awaits. As the lawmaster of this treacherous dungeon, I invite you to uncover the mysteries veiled within its burning embrace. Welcome to the inferno beneath the city. Welcome to Ragefire Chasm. Long before the Horde's banners soared over the city of Orgrimmar, Ragefire Chasm existed in silent obscurity. A sprawling network of volcanic caverns, its corridors and lava-filled trenches remained hidden, untouched by the surface world. The chasm's innate hostility was evident in its seething pools of molten rock and the suffocating heat that permeated its air, creating an environment where only the hardiest of creatures could dare to tread. From deep below, a clan of creatures known as the Ragefire Trogs emerged, their origins as mysterious as the bowels from which they hail. The natural inhabitants of the undergrounds have dwelled in its depths for as long as history could recall, living a life undisturbed and unseen by the surface world. These creatures, born of stone and flame, roamed the lava-filled tunnels that formed their ancient home. Here, in this searing underworld, they led a reclusive existence, native to the caverns and hostile to any outsider who dared to intrude. Recently, a new presence has entrenched itself within the dungeon, the Searing Blade sect. This cult, fiercely loyal to the demonic Shadow Council, had infiltrated the chasm, bringing with them an air of obscure ambition. Led by a formidable duo, an orc warlock whose mastery of dark sorceries was unrivaled, and a satyr, adept in deception and treachery, the Searing Blade seeks to usurp the Order of Orgrimmar. Their goal is to shake the foundations of the city above and to plunge the Horde into chaos. War Chief Thrall, keenly aware of the peril beneath his city, contemplates a decisive strike against the cult's lieutenants, hoping his actions might reveal the ties to a greater enemy, the elusive Shadow Council. Today, this realm is not just a geological marvel beneath Orgrimmar, but a battleground where the fate of the Horde hangs in the balance. The journey into Ragefire Chasm begins with a palpable sense of anticipation. The group, a diverse following of new and brave adventurers, step into the shadowy depths, their eyes adjusting to the dim, flickering glow of molten lava. The air is thick with the scent of sulfur and earth, reminding each member of the dangers that lie ahead, but their confidence in their strategy and skills overrides any thought of fear. As they advance, the group encounters earthborers and molten elementals, each a test of their readiness and adaptability. Their movement through the cavernous depths is methodical, always mindful of conserving energy for the greater challenges ahead. The path forward is a maze of open caverns and narrow passages, heavily guarded by trogs. These cave-dwelling creatures, originally the natural inhabitants of these undergrounds, have been displaced due to the arrival of the Searing Blade sect within the chasm. Forced into retreat by the overwhelming might of the invaders, the trogs now linger near the cavern's entrance, their eyes filled with a determined glint. They bide their time in the shadows, fueled by the hope of one day rising to reclaim their former home from the clutches of the sect. With only an occasional disoriented and weakened cave creature remaining, the explorers clear the ranks of adversaries in their way. The excitement builds. Oggleflint's lair is near, the stronghold of the Trog leader. The Chieftain's massive form is flanked by two equally fierce guardians, his loyal allies. As the adventurers steel themselves, the air crackles with anticipation. The clash begins with a roar as Oggleflint unleashes his devastating cleave, a sweeping attack that threatens both the vanguard and their companions. The explorers scatter, evading the savage range of his cleaving attacks, which strike with the force of the earth itself. The battle is intense, a symphony of spells, steel, and strategy. Each adventurer exploits openings, while others provide support and control, a perfect balance of offense and defense. With a final, well-coordinated assault, Oggleflint is defeated. The group takes a moment to acknowledge their triumph, not just in combat, but in the execution of their plan. There is a brief exchange of nods and smiles, a celebration of their collective intellect and skill. The respite, however, is short-lived. The deeper mysteries of Ragefire Chasm await, and with them, new challenges to their strategic mastery. With renewed focus, they venture forth, ready to face whatever lies in these uncharted depths. The courageous band of explorers advances deeper into the heart of Ragefire Chasm, their footsteps echoing in the cavernous depths. Here, the path converges on a chamber where the air vibrates with demonic energy. The atmosphere grows warmer, and the light shifts to a hellish glow as they approach the domain of Taragaman the Hungerer. This hulking spawn of hell is more than a mere guardian. He is a symbol of the Searing Blade's unholy affiliation. The adventurers take in the scene, their senses heightened, their minds calculating the perilous terrain they must navigate. The distant roar of lava intertwines with their steady breaths, each member mentally preparing for the encounter ahead. Before they can confront Taragaman, the group faces various sect members. Cultists and enforcers, warlocks and their Voidwalker minions stand in their path, a gauntlet of fanaticism and dark magic. The explorers approach these foes with their signature blend of tactics and precision. Swift and decisive, they dismantle the sect's ranks, moving like a well-oiled machine across the battlefield. As the last of the sect members falls, the group positions themselves at the foot of Taragaman's platform. The platform, an island amidst a river of molten rock, presents a unique challenge in itself. Every member of the group understands the importance of positioning in this battle. A misstep or a moment's carelessness could lead to a very painful and fiery demise. The threat of being knocked back into the molten torrent is ever present, a danger all too familiar to seasoned explorers of the chasm. The conflict ignites with the demon unleashing a devastating uppercut, a mighty blow that sends a tremor through the stone underfoot. The adventurers reel from the force, quickly regaining their footing as they dodge the fiery arcs of his fire nova. The truth of Taragaman's role becomes clear in the heat of battle. He is bait, a snare set by the dark cult to entrap the inexperienced and the reckless. But these adventurers are neither. The cavern echoes with the fury of the clash, the party weaving between flames and rage, a dance of survival against the overwhelming heat. Nonetheless, in this inferno, the explorers start to find their rhythm. They adapt to the Felguard's onslaught, learning to anticipate his brute force and the explosive waves of fire magic. With each evasive maneuver and each well-timed strike, the group chips away at the fiend's might. With a final concerted effort, they exploit an opening in the Felguard's defense, and Taragaman the Hungerer falls, his essence extinguishing like a snuffed torch. As the echo of the demon's death fades, a realization dawns upon the victors. Taragaman was merely the initial sign of the deeper chaos, with the true puppeteers still shrouded in the shadows. But for now, the path forward is clear, and the group presses on, their determination steeled by the knowledge that they have overcome a fearsome adversary of the Searing Blade's wrath. The group presses on, deeper into the twisting corridors of Ragefire Chasm. The air grows heavier, tinged with the acrid smell of dark magic. As they navigate the depths, a figure emerges from the columns of crimson smoke, a being who has forsaken the path of honor that once defined the Orcs. His name is whispered in hushed tones. Jergosh the Invoker, a practitioner of forbidden arts and a leader among the Searing Blade sect. Before they can reach the warlock, they must cut through the ranks of his followers. These cultists, devoted and fanatical, guard their leader with zeal. The party approaches this obstacle with their now proven strategy of divide and conquer. They isolate and eliminate the cultists with precision, disrupting their formations and preventing them from rallying. Not before long, the explorers stand at the threshold of Jergosh's lair. They ready themselves, knowing the cunning and power of the warlock they are about to face. The adventurers review their tactics, mindful of the orc's abilities and understanding the importance of maintaining focus and coordination in the face of Jergosh's demonic sorcery. The warlock begins his incantations, and fire springs to life around him, an immolation that threatens to consume not just flesh, but the very soul. With each word uttered from his lips, the air grows heavier, as if the weight of the ground above bears down upon them. The adventurers respond swiftly, using their skills to minimize the damage as they keep the pressure on the Invoker. They spread out, avoiding clustering together, reducing the effectiveness of his area-bound spells. In an act of black magic, Jergosh casts a Curse of Weakness, a spell that seeks to sap the strength from their resolve to end his reign. Swords feel heavier and limbs grow weary, and the curse tests their resilience, but they adapt, shifting their strategy to rely more on their magical abilities and less on physical prowess. In the end, it is the Orc Warlock's own hubris that becomes his downfall. As his energy wanes and his spells flicker out, the adventurers seize the moment. With a final blow, they overcome Jergosh's defenses. The Orc collapses, his dark ambitions crumbling along with him. In the stillness that follows, the group catches their breath, taking in the significance of their victory, not just for themselves, but for the safety of the city outside the chasm. As they gather themselves, a shared understanding passes among them. Their quest through Ragefire is far from over. It is whispered among the adventurers that another adversary lurks in the deeper, unexplored recesses of these caverns, a challenge they are determined to confront. With each step forward, their resolve solidifies as if the very stones beneath their feet urge them onward, into the heart of darkness and uncertainty. The group's quest through Ragefire Chasm approaches its climax as they face their final ordeal. Climbing a steep ledge, their muscles strain under the effort. This ascent is more than a physical barrier. It's a symbolic rise to the ultimate test of their capabilities. The atmosphere grows denser, charged with the suspense of the impending showdown. Each adventurer feels the weight of the moment, their senses heightened and their minds sharp. Reaching the summit, they find themselves in the domain of Bazzalan, the mastermind of the dungeon. His presence is commanding, a being of both physical and intellectual might. The party pauses, taking in the gravity of this encounter. They understand that Bazzalan is not just another foe to be vanquished, he is the culmination of their adventure, the final trial of their strategic mettle. The Satyr engages swiftly, his movements a blur of deadly precision. The explorers spring into action, their strategy adapting to his swift and cunning style. His poison ability, a ticking threat, forces them to allocate resources to additional healing. The brave souls maneuver around Bazzalan, their formation fluid, each member playing a crucial role. His sinister strike, sudden and brutal, keeps them on their toes. The fight progresses, and the group's synergy and tactical acumen begin to tip the scales, exploiting weaknesses in the Satyr's defenses. The adventurers' resilience shines through, and their preparedness for the foe's abilities becomes evident in their unwavering focus. With a final, decisive and collective strike, the leader of the cult falters and collapses, his reign over the chasm coming to an abrupt end. In the aftermath of the battle, the band of explorers take a moment to reflect on their journey. They stand together amidst the quiet of the conquered lair, a sense of accomplishment washing over them. The challenges of Ragefire Chasm have been met with intellect, strategy, and teamwork. As they prepare to leave the dungeons, they carry with them not only the spoils of their victory, but the invaluable experience of overcoming adversity through unity and tactical mastery. Victorious but weary, the adventurers emerge from the chasm, having disrupted the Searing Blade's plans and cut down its leaders. On their journey back to the surface, they reflect on the battles they've fought and the secrets they've uncovered. The threat of the sect might have been quelled, but the invisible grip of the Shadow Council still looms in the world of Azeroth. Returning to the vibrant life of the city, the group makes their way to Warchief Thrall to report on their mission. Thrall listens intently, his expression a mix of gratitude and concern, aware that this victory, though significant, is but a skirmish in the ongoing war against the forces that seek to destabilize the Horde. The night descends over Orgrimmar, and the adventurers part ways, each carrying with them the memories of the fiery dungeon and the battles that raged within. Their deeds have become a part of the city's history, a tale of hidden enemies and the brave few who rose to meet them. As the Lawmaster of Ragefire Chasm, I am honored to have guided you through this inferno. May the flames of valor and determination ignited here light your path in all the quests that lie ahead. Until we meet again, dear wanderers, and may your adventures be as fiery and spirited as our journey in the undergrounds.